Yo, what is going on, guys? MaxQC here with a brand new video, and today we're going to be looking at some of the best Fallout 76 melee builds. So I'm going to be including perks, weapons, and armor for this one, just so that way you can really get a good idea of what you need for certain types. Like, say you want a kind of a fast melee build, or even you don't really care about speed, you just want a heavy hitter, then we got it for you all right here. Now, for the sake of this video, I am going to be including things like tomahawks and throwing knives, because by technicality they are all melees and you can't really go wrong with them. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start with the very first one being kind of like a speed melee build. We'll go ahead and start off with the armor. So power armor I don't recommend for this, because power armor is kind of bulky, and if you are trying to do kind of like a speed melee, you don't really want to be walking around in power armor. Yes, it does give you the extra protection that you might want. So if you do want it, feel free to go ahead. You can get anything, like any perks, I should say, to counteract with it, so that way you're not kind of limited in what you can do. But for the sake of this, I do recommend armor kind of like this, just normal, average everyday armor, preferably ones that you can find that are either pocketed or that have the lighter build. The ones with the lighter build, you can maneuver and get around a lot quicker than you can if you're in this big old walking tank. So realistically, you do want to try to limit yourself to stay away from power armor. Try to limit what you carry. Don't go too much. As you can see here, I'm actually almost overweight, which isn't good. But there are different perks, like I said earlier, to counteract. And we'll go ahead and look at some of the perks right now, actually. Now, some of the perks that I do recommend for fast melee build will be things like Pack Rat. I can see Pack Rat. Gladiator is a very, very good one. I highly recommend Gladiator to the max if you are going to do actually any melee build. Sturdy Frame is a good one. Slugger is a good one for heavy-handed hitters. I'm sorry. I'll get into that one in a little bit. But Gladiator, Pack Rat is a good one. There's a few agility ones, like Through Hiker, Moving Target. Just ones that'll really, try to protect you. Like Moving Target's a good one because you gain damage, plus 15 damage and energy resistance while sprinting. There's no power armor, like I said, so this is good for you not being in your power armor. And also, if you don't, want to go with that, you can go something with like Action Boy, so you get your action points back up quicker. If you do want to use VATS, or you could go Marathoner, so that way you still have more action points, and running doesn't really take it all away from you. So that way you can really, speed up, hit what you need to hit, run back, hit it again. Just really take it however you want to hit it. Now, speed, I'm not talking about. When I say speed, I'm not talking about how you see speed medium, okay? Because I fully understand that, you could probably use just a knife and you get a lot of hits in, but you're not doing a lot of damage. So, my recommendations for this are, really for this build, I highly, highly recommend the Blade of Estet, which you actually get from Novice of Mysteries, which if you haven't, actually done that quest, I'll show you exactly where to go. It's this little house right here called Riverside Manor, kind of close to the Capitol building, so it's not that far away. It's really close to all these nice, rich houses, and it's really probably one of the best weapons you can get, or the best melee weapons you can get in the game. And for most of the melee builds, that's going to be your main weapon. There are a few other weapons that I'm going to get into, but for the sake of this, for a speed melee, I highly recommend Blade of Estet. It's probably the most solid all-around melee you can get, and it's really hard to beat at this point. Alright, now for all of you out there that are more heavy-handed, don't really care about speed or anything like that, you want to do damage, you want to do a lot of it, here we go. So, what I'm recommending is some good old power armor, like always, but you can always do these with, not power armor. You can do this with whatever you please. But I like to recommend it with power armor because you can take a lot of damage and you can deal a lot of damage, so it kind of works out perfectly. So, now that you have that, since with the power armor you can take a lot of damage, there are other types of armor that you can actually use, obviously, because some just won't work in power armor. Like I know the Death Tambo won't actually work in power armor because you can't use it in power armor. So, that being said, you can always use, just regular old armor like I was showing you for the other build. But it is best to always try to use power armor, because it's always good to have that just the top-notch protection. Nothing can get better than this. So now that you just settled on whatever armor you want, it's good to go ahead and start looking at your perk cards, because you always want to try to match up your perk cards to your playstyle. It's always good to have, you know, things like gunsmith for crafting, but you don't always have to have them in your little inventory. You can always just add them and, you know, take them away whenever you need to. But I recommend this one first off because everything breaks, or your guns break 40% slower. But for this one, like I was saying earlier, I highly recommend Slugger if you're going to be using something like a Super Sledge or just anything like that. I think if you want to use the Deathclaw Gauntlet, that should fall under Gladiator. So, you know, it can work both ways. If you want to use Slugger, you know, for like a Super Sledge, or I think it's a Fire Axe or something like that, you go ahead. But Gladiator is probably the best for, you know, if you want to use the Deathclaw Gauntlet once you get higher in level, so that way you can just, you know, do you. Or if you want to go hardcore and just go straight fist, Iron Fist is always an option. Don't know why you want to do it, but if you do want to just try it out, go ahead and get Iron Fist leveled up as much as you can, and you should be good to go after that. Alright, and with the perks being out of the way, the best heavy-handed melee weapons that I found, you could go slow like the Super Sledge or maybe even the Giant Pickaxe, which is what I actually used to run for quite a while. But for this one, I'm kind of recommending Deathclaw Gauntlet, which, you know, it's also slow, but also the Blade of Ascent. Again, it's honestly just such a good melee. Like, you cannot go wrong with that at all. I think that's probably one of the better ones. Power Fist, believe it or not, I kind of recommend a Power Fist for this one because it's just, it kind of just makes sense with, you know, the perks and the weight of it. It's not too heavy, it's not too lightweight. You could go something like the Minor Gauntlet if you want to. I don't really recommend it though, because I think it's trash. But I know there's probably a lot of people out there that like it. I never could use it, and I still stand by that to this day, that I will never be able to use it. So if you want to run that, more power to you. I fully recommend you go ahead and do that. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know if I missed any in the comments down below. Maybe you have, what, 3 or 4 other melees you like better. Maybe you like running some different perks of yours. Let me know all in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and peace.